Hello and welcome back to the woods at Lone Pine Tarot. I hope you're having a magical day or night wherever you are. Today's pick a card reading is not so nature themed, but still a good classic topic I felt really called to explore with you. We're asking your future self to send a message about what you need to hear most right at this moment. And as always with open-ended readings, I'm kind of excited to see what comes through for you, because it could be advice, glimpses of the future, or who knows? That's the fun of discovering what your future self has left behind for you to find. Also, just as a note ahead of time, it is the 4th of July weekend in the USA where I'm recording. So if you hear fireworks in the background during your readings today, that is why. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at your choices for piles. Over here on the left for pile 1, your pile leader is Celestial. Pile 2 in the middle is Adventure. And pile 3 on the right is Earth. Pause here if you need a little more time to choose, but when you're ready, your timestamp is waiting in the description below. I'll see you in your reading. Hello there, pile number 1. Welcome to your future self message today, and of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the utterly beautiful Celestial card as your pile leader. Now, of course, we'll talk about more what that means in tandem with your other cards in a moment, but first, I'm going to draw your first spread of tarot cards just to kind of see an overall theme of what your future self wants to discuss with you today. So speaking of future self of pile 1, could you tell me a little bit more about what you want them to hear? What is it you want to convey? Thank you. What do they need to know? Okay, I'm quite drawn to this card first on the side. We have the 4 of Cups reversed. Finally noticing something, which is very interesting because it's kind of similar to what your Celestial card message is. I'm happy to see that synchronicity right off the bat, but let's keep going. Then we have the 6 of Cups reversed. Might be some past influences here. Then we have, the Knight of Wands. Taking action in some direction. Could also represent a person. And feeling drawn to this middle one here. Ooh, we have another Wands Court card, but the Page of Wands this time. Lots of youthful energy, especially around fire with this reading today. And fire in tarot, as you know from, if you watch my other videos, I always see it as the suit of passions and things that we're creative about, things that we're trying to do with our willpower in the world. So overall, first impressions, your future self is trying to tell you something today about you finally noticing something. And as I said, it's very synchronous with your Celestial card because your Celestial card is about noticing signs and synchronicities in the world around you, especially from guides, although like today, hence the title, this is more from your future self. But of course, your spirit guides do help with those things too, as well as your angels and ancestors, etc. But especially today, your future self, I think, has been sending you some signs. Could be literally something to do with the colors blue and purple a lot recently. I mean, you do have a lot of blue and purple in, or at least blue, not necessarily purple, with the close of the figures in the 4 and the 6 of Cups reversed. And I find it interesting too, because then that translates into orange and yellow with the 2 Wands Court cards. It's like changing the colors of something. Maybe you've been feeling kind of blue about something recently, interpreting that a bit more literally, I'm feeling drawn to. So this is something I think that's going to make you happy. And I think what's been making you unhappy up until this point is you have been, I think, trying to find something or trying to figure something out regarding the past. Hence the influence of the 6 of Cups reversed, and being reversed, it means something from the past that has made you kind of unhappy. Especially with the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands having come out afterwards, I think it's something that you did try to take action towards, or have been currently in the present tense trying to take action towards, trying to explore. That's the meaning of the page. Pages are learners. They're that youthful energy of, I am new to this and I need to kind of figure it out. That's their main mantra. And for some reason, it's like you just haven't been seeing the sign, you haven't been seeing, like, any, at least, glimpse of progress with it, or it feels like it's just not working out. It feels like, too, especially if this is more of an emotional thing, as I said, because maybe some of you do literally feel blue in some way, it could be that you are still attached to the sadness from the past, and you've been asking maybe for signs of like, well, how do I overcome this? Or how do I get to this goal or achieve this thing, or kind of overcome the feeling of being blue, of course. And yes, you've been sent signs, and that's what they're trying to give you attention to today, or spark your attention with that Four of Cups reversed, because that's the energy of we've been kind of ignoring something for a while. Hence, you can see in the upright version, he's sitting there, he's meditating, he's looking at the 3 cups in front of him, but he doesn't notice the one behind him or kind of to his side. But reversed, it's like, okay, finally we've had our eyes open. So they want to open your eyes today on the solution to this problem, or the solution to the sadness that you've been going through, pile 1. So that's just a bit of a glimpse so far of the purpose of your future self reaching out to you today. But of course, there's always more messages to glean. So we'll get some advice here with your main oracle deck besides your pile leader. And of course, we'll do your main tarot spread too. So future self of pile 1. Could you tell me a little bit more about what you want to tell them with this problem and overcoming it? Thank you. Excuse me, my voice is a bit scratchy. Oh, definitely this one. We have your life plan is unfolding as it should. Okay, that is number 14. We do have 4 repeated twice here. We have, of course, like I said, 4 of Cups and 4 in the 14. That usually represents in numerology stability in some way. So I think, too, this future self is trying to help you find stability with this issue that you've been trying to work through. And like it says on the tin here, pile 1, with your life plan is unfolding as it should. Really what that boils down to is your future self is asking you to trust in the process, which is, of course, as I know, a lot easier said than done, because especially when we're frustrated and when we have sadness from the past and when we have a lot of fire energy where we're trying to manifest our will and our creativity and our passions in the external world, 3D world around us, it's hard to trust in the process, especially when we feel as if we're not seeing any signs so far of either the universe paying attention to our problem, or our guides paying attention to our problem, or just not seeing signs of that progress, like I said, to summarize. But your future self is saying everything right now is going exactly as it should. It's kind of a message, too, of this is like your life plan. This is how it's supposed to unfold for some reason. I think we'll see part of that reason in the main tarot spread. They might say exactly like why it had to unfold this way. Okay. And then, too, we have that blue color repeated. Lots of blue today. So when you're looking for signs and synchronicities from your future self and your guides, look for things that are colored blue. I'm seeing that quite prominently right away, but let's look at your tarot cards. Okay, future self of pile 1, could you tell me a little bit more about, number 1, the solution, but also why is this happening exactly as it should? What's the delay, or what's the reason for this process going the way that it did? Thank you. We have, this card was quite prominent in poking my hand. Okay, yes, we have the Sun reversed as the very first I can't talk today. Inciting incident card. And I see that, pile 1, as a card of, well, reversed, it can mean sadness. So like I said, in the very beginning, I was feeling a lot of like blueness from you, a lot of sadness over this thing. And yeah, Sun reversed can mean we are unhappy. There's a lack of joy. Also, too, for those of you especially where this is related to like an external goal of some sort, the Sun reversed can mean we are lacking truth. And as I was saying in the very beginning, it's like you were like looking for signs, or like looking information for how to overcome this thing or how to get to this goal. So that inciting incident card is just a reiteration of, yes, this is exactly what I was picking up on earlier, and your future self is reconfirming that, okay? I find it interesting, too, that she's banging a gong, like bringing attention to something. Maybe you were trying to bring attention to something and it was like nobody was listening. For some of you, which can also be an interpretation of the Four of Cups, because it's literally the card of having ignored something, but reversed too, it's like trying to get people to pay attention and open their eyes to something. Maybe they're just not listening. And then we have, wonderful, the Five of Cups reversed. Okay, that is a card of overcoming hardships and sadness. So I do see that right away here, pile 1, as your future self saying, this is not going to last forever, this stagnant process and progress and this feeling of being blue, especially with the Five of Cups reversed having come out, because that can be like a depression card when it's upright. It means, okay, the sadness is coming to an end. And 2, I see that as a recent past card as well. Let me look at your middle card before I say more on that, but Then we have the Six of Swords, beautiful, another reconfirmation of you were going to make progress, especially in endeavors that are related to moving on. So some of you, it could have been like a relationship that you're trying to move on from that was really harsh, or something in general. I guess this is a general reading, because I can't pin it down specifically like for every single person, but something from the past, of course, with that Six of Cups. But finally, we're taking that Six of Cups reversed and turning it into Six of Swords, where we're like, okay, we're getting on our boat. We're finally going to move to greener pastures. And I find it funny, too. It's almost like she's leaving somebody behind. Maybe you're going to leave somebody behind, but you felt as if that kind of hurt you because, like, you had an attachment to who this person was, or same thing, too. It could be because swords in tarot can represent ideas, and it's like she's moving forward without any of the ideas or the arrows or swords in this particular deck. She's leaving them behind with this person. So maybe it's like you've had to leave other ideas in the past, too, because you're like, well, I couldn't make those ideas work. Like, I just have to leave them behind so that I can move forward in the future. And that does create a sadness in and of itself, pile one, even if it's not, moving on from a relationship or leaving a literal person behind, because we get so invested in our ideas and they're so close to our heart that leaving them behind almost kind of feels like we're breaking or like failing our dreams a bit. But there's a reason this unfolded the way it did. And this is why, that your life plan is unfolding as it should card came out. So we'll keep going. We have the Ten of Cups reversed, okay. That can mean that we're struggling with finding happily ever after. And in the near future position, that can mean that we're still kind of working through a lot of that energy of, moving through that, like, sadness, okay. There's a little bit of progress here earlier before that because of the Five of Cups reversed, being like, okay, we're overcoming the hardship. We're overcoming the initial, problem that caused it in the first place. But of course, healing from things is not always a really easy, one day you're fine, one day you're not, and then the next day you're fine again. It's not that simple process always. Of course, there's always times when we need to move through things a bit more slowly and just heal and think it through. And so I do see that in the near future for you. Your future self is saying you're going to have to kind of still work through some of that, but you are already making progress before that point, okay? So I think you'll see a lot of forward momentum on this problem before you're even at the point of like processing everything and trying to heal from it. It's one of those things where I feel like you have to heal from it like after you've already moved on and left some things in the past, okay? And then your final card today is Temperance reversed. Could be some advice, because it is kind of one of those more neutral cards, I would say, especially being reversed. It's not, like, say if the, like Ten of Swords upright had come out, or the Tower, for example, it's like the big, disaster card, but it's going to be a process, pile one. A lot of it is going to require you to overcome this, to find this goal, to keep moving forward and overcome, to, as I said, for some of you being blue or sad, to find more balance in life, because that's usually what temperance represents, is moderation and balance between things. We, of course, have this figure who is halfway between sunlight, which I find that interesting. That did pop up, the sun at the very start. Halfway between sunlight and halfway between rain. It's kind of acknowledging that there's always going to be good days. There's always going to be bad days. He's got, one foot in one world and one foot in the other. And I'm almost hearing from your future self that they're saying it's healthy for you to grieve this thing, or these particular ideas, or this person, whatever it is for you that you feel has been weighing you down from the past. It's healthy for you to spend time grieving. Of course, to, spend time in the sunlight as well. That's good too. But, it sounds cliche, pile one, but we cry for a reason. We are upset about things for a reason. And we need time to grieve and recover for a reason. So I think part of it, I'm hearing from your future self, is you might be so focused on the external move away from this feeling of failure, or the external move away from, feeling like I just want to get rid of this thing. I want to leave it in the past. I want to keep going. I want to find this goal instead and keep working towards, that success. And that's great. It's good that you have that get up and go. It's great to have that ambition. That's another keyword to use with the wand suit and tarot. But at the same time, pile one, I think you might be neglecting a bit of the grieving process or the emotional side of things, your future self is saying, because you're so focused on the external manifestation of success with this rather than just the emotional success, or healing, I should say is probably a better term, of this process. So the reason why it was delayed, because remember at the beginning I was like, we're going to find out why it was delayed, why it was part of your life plan unfolding as it should, as your Healing Spirits Oracle says, is because you needed time to heal, is what your future self is saying. This wait, this delay, is because you need time to heal. I know you want to make progress, and that's great, as I said, but your future self is saying it's okay to put down the wands for a bit. It's okay to pause and rest too. You don't have to be, go, 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 keep going. Like, in fact, I wonder if some of you are fire signs, which is great. Fire signs, are very passionate about things. They're very, at least in my experience, a lot of them tend to be ambitious in good ways, right? That's hence, that's the meaning of wands and fire in tarot too. But sometimes when we have an abundance of fire, we neglect the other elements in our life, the stability of earth, the thinking things through of air, and the emotional connection and healing of water, okay? And speaking of your overall elemental associations here, you have 2 water cards or cups cards reversed, and in the very beginning you had 2 cards that were cups reversed, okay? And as I said, cups in tarot are about your emotions, your relationships, your feelings, etc. And so I think that's just another reconfirmation here from your future self that yes, maybe you've been neglecting the cups or the water element for a little bit because you were so focused on the fire, and they're saying, focus on the water just a little bit more here, pile 1. Okay? Focus on it just a bit. You're going to make progress no matter what. You have that reassured with the 5 of Cups reversed plus the 6 of Swords. But you need to find a balance between go, 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 and wait, pause, let me process this. Okay? But you'll get there, I promise you. You will get there. I mean, that fire energy is there for a reason. You have the ambition, you have the willpower. You will move forward. It's just take delays as a sign from the universe to do that pause. Okay? All right, so that was your reading today, your message from your future self. I hope pile 1, number 1, that it helped you. I hope that it resonated with you, of course. I hope that you liked the reading, and if so, please like, please comment, please subscribe. Thank you so much if you choose to do any one of those 3 things. If not more than 1 today, as every little bit helps the channel so much. So I am always grateful for when you guys do interact with the video in those ways, and the channel, I guess, in general too, but you know what I mean. Anyways, and in our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day or your night. A restful rest of your day or your night, pile 1. And I hope to see you again in the woods someday soon. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2. Welcome to your future self message. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the lovely adventure card as your pile leader today. Now I'm going to set this over to the left to start. We will talk about its meaning, of course, but I want to draw your main tarot spread just to see what's the overall theme of what your future self wants to convey to you today. So speaking of future self of pile 2, could you tell me a little bit more about what you want them to know? What is it you want to talk to them about? Thank you. Okay, for sure this one was like, take me. Actually, we're going to take both of those. So 1, 2, 3, and there is 4. Lots of cups today. Look at that, pile 2. Lots of water energy. Okay, this was the first one. We have the Star reversed, which is also lots of water energy. See her pouring that. And the second one is some earth. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Lots of court cards today as well. So pile 2, let's see here. Star reversed, Queen of Pentacles, King of Cups, and the Page of Cups reversed. There's some situation where you have been hoping or waiting for something. I say that because of the star reversed. Oftentimes the star reversed is the card of feeling as if we no longer have hope for something, or we were waiting for something and we still just aren't seeing that light at the end of the tunnel with it. Like, where's the progress? Where's the sign? Where's the thing I was looking for? It's that feeling of a lack of hope or faith that things will work out, okay? And I think specifically, it's you having lost hope or faith in some matter regarding your internal security about something, especially with that Queen of Pentacles. You've been very mature about it. You've been handling it very well, pile 2. That's hence the energy of the King of Cups. He's a very mature, especially with the emotions in our heart and our relationships as well. That's his main kind of wheelhouse. But still, I think there's a bit of a part of you that has been a bit impatient. Understandably, I would be the same in your position. I'd be like, oh my God, I want this security. I want this thing. Okay, where the heck is it, right? Okay, we all get kind of impatient with things sometimes. And I say that because of the Page of Cups being reversed. And the Page of Cups is, like all pages when they're reversed, they can be a little bit, not immature necessarily in this. I guess I wouldn't read it that way for you because you did get the King of Cups upright. So very mature, but they can be a bit impatient with things, as I was saying, especially when it comes to the emotional side of things, or like feeling like you're emotionally making progress, especially because he's a Cups card, right? But also the feeling of, because here's one of the kind of odd traditional meanings of the Page of Cups, upright. Usually he's about, oh, I have a surprise. I think it's because randomly he has just a fish kind of sticking out of the cup. Like, I'm waiting for a surprise. I'm waiting for something to surprise me. But reversed, it's like, man, this is not surprising me. This is not, there's no magic happening here. I feel like, too, maybe you're getting a bit jaded about it because you're just not seeing that sign. You're like, where is this thing that I've been looking for? There's no sign. You've been great about it. But we're not so excited about it anymore. We're kind of like, I don't know, should I give this thing up? Or, is this really what I want anymore? Like, how come it's not coming my way? And especially in tandem with your pile leader card. Adventure. You can see here she is just on the cusp of something. She's right before a doorway to a new world. And not just a new world, but a brighter world. You can see where she is right now, kind of a bit darker, kind of a bit more mellow, and then the world beyond the door is this bright golden place. Okay? So I think what your future self is trying to tell you today, pile 2, is your future self is saying, I know right now you're jaded. I know right now you feel as if there's no hope. You have no faith in this thing with security. You've been great about it, but you're getting jaded, right? You're like, eh. But you're on the cusp of something. So that's what they want to tell you today. We'll delve more into what you're on the cusp of with your other cards. So let's get into that. I'm excited to see what they have to say about that. Okay, spirit guides and future self of pile 2. What else do you want to tell pile 2 today? Thank you. What are they on the cusp of after being jaded and feeling like there's no hope? We have always in motion, number 22. Always in motion, things being in balance, of course, with the meaning of 2 being repeated twice with 22. They're telling you, pile 2, I know it might not feel like there's been progress tangible with this thing. They're like, I know, pile 2, that it feels as if everything is really stagnant. Because that's another thing with like the star being reversed and the Page of Cups reversed. That's kind of a feeling of stagnancy. Like things have just not been making motion. And then 2, the Queen of Pentacles upright is usually like a good stability, but she's not a very like fast moving card. She's an earth sign. She's a little bit more like, slow and steady wins the race. She's not quite so speedy with things. And the King of Cups is kind of like that too. He's kind of more patient, okay? But your future self is saying your patience is going to pay off because things are always in motion, even when we don't necessarily see it outside of ourselves, okay? In fact, I'm actually going to draw a clarifier on that one because I want to know kind of what's been in motion behind the scenes. Of course, we'll ask with your main tarot spread too, like what's the adventure, the thing that you're on cusp of, but so future self of pile 2. What's in motion? What's in motion do you want them to know? Death, which means change. Things are actually going to be changing, pile 2. Change. A change regarding your courage or your strength or your willpower or your ability to do something. That is what they're saying. And you have 2 major arcana with that too. Very important change too. It's not a tiny change. It's going to be a big change that drastically alters the way that things have been going. All right, keep that in mind. Let's look at your main tarot spread. Creating some suspense here. We'll see more. You're on the cusp of change. You're on the cusp of things getting stronger. Let's look at the timeline too, as well as your advice. We have speaking of balance, remember I said 2, the 22 with your Healing Spirits Oracle, we have the 2 of Pentacles, balancing things, and I wonder if that's kind of what you were seeking in the first place, pile 2, was balance in some way. Now that literally can mean, especially with the security meaning of the Queen of Pentacles, balance and security in your finances or balance and security in your job. It's that very earth energy stuff going on with those 2 cards, but on top of that, it can also mean that things have felt like we've had to juggle them for a while. We feel as if we've had to do a balancing act, either literally with our account balance or in general. It's like that feeling of, I have so many things on my plate. I got to, do this thing and then that thing and then over on this side, blah, 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 etc. You know what I mean? So no wonder why. Maybe you thought things would get easier a lot faster, but that's maybe what you were losing that hope or that faith in and that stability. You were like, this really seems like it might be kind of chaotic for quite a while. And so that's why you were getting that jaded feeling. You're like, but it's changing. Okay. We have next the Empress reversed in the recent past position. 2, there's some influence here of it feeling as if you weren't able to create. You were having a lack of ability or a blockage or obstacle is maybe a better way to put that in terms of your ability to nurture something. So it could be like a project that you were working on or some sort of goal that you've been trying to accomplish, pile 2. It's like you wanted to do this thing, but you had to balance so many dang other things that you were like, man, I can't get to that point of what I want to in terms of creating what I actually want to do or what I actually want to bring forward and manifest because I have to do this balancing act instead. So the balancing, as I said, could literally have been like money for this project, like literally like how do I balance the finances for this goal, right? Or as I said too, it's like so many things were taking your resources in terms of time that it's like, man, I just can't create this thing. There's so many other things on my plate. I can't figure it out. I can't dedicate enough time to it because of that. Okay. Then in the central position, we have the 8 of Wands. Wonderful. I will tell you this, pile 2. Your future self is saying not only is the change coming that will allow you to work on this thing that you've been hoping or waiting for, it's coming fast. That is literally the main meaning of the 8 of Wands is boom, here it comes really fast. So it is fast change. You're not just on the cusp of a new adventure or like the next world with this thing or step, I should say, in terms of like, a little while now. You're on the cusp of literally like days to weeks, probably more like days, but we'll see. Usually the 8 of Wands I would read as like it's happening like within days. Let's keep going. We'll see what really is the big change though. What kind of, because I'm curious about what brings that about. I might draw some extra clarifiers on that, but let's keep going. We have the Queen of Wands, beautiful. Someone walking forward with confidence, with belief in self. That's another really good term to use with the Queen of Wands. Some of you maybe literally it was something to do with farming, with livestock. I don't know, very cute cows there, but even if not related to agriculture, livestock raising, very happy. And it's easy. You can see she's not climbing the mountain. She's finally coming down from it. So I think pile 2, your future self is also saying that you're almost at the point where it's going to start looking a lot easier. Before you had that juggling act of the 2 of Pentacles, but now like the Queen of Wands coming down the mountain or the hill, it's like, okay, this is a little bit of an easier walk. It's not so difficult. And 2, I find it interesting that she's kind of like a shepherd with, it's not sheep, I guess it's livestock, it's like cows, but at the same time, she's still like a shepherd of sorts, kind of guiding them somewhere. I think a lot of the problems or the things that you were having struggling, like you were struggling with like juggling before, finally kind of get into a single file line, and you're able to kind of just keep moving everything in one direction instead of it feeling like you having to have been the shepherd of like a million things going in a million different directions. Okay, so it's not so much of like, okay, there's this one cow over there or this cow over here or whatever, insert different things you had to deal with right here instead of cows, right? It's just a metaphor, but finally everything lines up and you're like, okay, now we can make progress. Now things can happen the way that we want them to. Okay. Wonder if you even might be a fire sign pile too, because Queen of Wands tends to be a feminine fire sign. You got lots of fire in this reading too with the 8 of Wands right before it, but let's keep going. And then we have the High Priestess. Beautiful. High Priestess usually means trusting in your intuition as a piece of advice. So that's one thing your future self wants to tell you here about the near future is, oh, there is a bug on the card. Excuse me. Like a little gnat. Goodbye. Speaking of surprises, right? There's a bug. Excuse the bug in your reading. Must have gotten in through my window earlier. Anyways, the High Priestess, bugs aside, are about trusting in your intuition. So your future self is telling you as you go through this process, pile 2, trust yourself. Trust what your gut says. However, the High Priestess can also mean secrets, things kind of coming out behind the curtain. Because remember before, you were kind of jaded, or you still are right now, maybe at this time you're watching this. You're jaded. There's no surprise. There's nothing. I think what your future self is telling you is there actually is a surprise coming on top of just the nice message of, yes, you're going to make progress quickly with this thing you've been trying to wrangle and finally get ducks in a row and move in that one direction. So I'm going to ask what the surprise is. What's hiding behind the surface? Very fitting for a reading titled, a secret message your future self wants to show you. So, future self, what's the secret? What's the surprise as the outcome here? Besides bugs that randomly fly into the cards. Whoops. Anyways. We have, a new opportunity. You have a new opportunity coming, pile 2, especially regarding stability, finances, career, things like that, because that's exactly what the Ace of Pentacles as a new energy with Earth is all about. It's a surprise of a new opportunity regarding the 8 of Pentacles reversed. Definitely related to work and finances for sure, because of those 2 Pentacles cards having come out, right? It's interesting because the 8 of Pentacles reversed usually means either needing to work harder on something or something isn't as difficult to get or work on as you thought it would be. Like, it's not like you having to sit down there and like just nose to the grindstone with it like the blacksmith's apprentice does here. So just to summarize, there's an opportunity coming that's going to be a lot easier to receive than you're expecting. It's not going to be something that you're going to have to work hard for, pile 2. Oh boy, I don't know if I can take that many cards. Just 3? Well, I will take them. Because I was going to ask more about the opportunity. So we have the World, the 3 of Wands reversed, and the 4 of Pentacles reversed. It's an opportunity related to... Oh, interesting. It's closing a chapter or ending something where you were having a struggle taking action with your plans, hence the 3 of Wands reversed, which, is, I guess, kind of repetitive because we did talk about that before, that lack of progress, lack of hope or faith in it. But the reason why is because something is released to you, especially with the 4 of Pentacles reversed. It's like releasing funds or someone letting go of something finally. It's not so closely clutched anymore. So some of you might actually be getting funding for something is kind of what that feels like to me. And you thought it might be quite the uphill battle, but really it isn't as hard as you thought it would be. I think it's going to come to you with a lot more ease than you were expecting. Okay. It's also something that's ending a cycle. So ending a cycle with that struggle, ending a cycle with having to like juggle so many things. And I wonder if some of you, the juggling was that you had to do like multiple different jobs or like tasks. And now it's like you can end that cycle and finally it's just like this one thing you can do. So it's like either, I don't know, some of you might have lost a job and then you had to kind of work like multiple part-time jobs to make up for that full-time job. And for example, this would be something like you finding another full-time job that makes you just be able to focus on that one thing instead of having to wrangle all those different things. Just as I said, might not resonate with all of you, but that's just like one thing I'm kind of thinking of as an example. So yeah, I mean, just to summarize, your future self is saying, things are changing in ways that you don't expect. We know that you're jaded. We understand. We get it. But you're just on the cusp of this new adventure and this new world where you don't have to balance and juggle things so much anymore. And you're going to get that opportunity faster and much easier than you're thinking, especially faster too. Remember the Eight of Wands. That's, things are happening quite quickly here, which is great. Change is coming. Remember the Death card, especially with Strength too, which is about personal capability as well. It's like, because I talked about too with the Shepherd having to wrangle things, and literally like the Strength card is the woman always wrangling the beast in some way, or the lion. So it's like you're finally able to take the jaws of the thing that was causing you stress, and you're like, okay, now I have this under control. I don't fear this chaos. I don't fear this beast, quote unquote, anymore. And it's just a lot lighter future. It's a lot more simple in the way of there's less things to have to juggle. And you want to feel like a shepherd, keeping so many sheep in line, or maybe specifically cows with that card. You get a nice surprise there with that opportunity, okay? Wonderful. So that's what your future self wanted to share with you today. I hope, pile 2, that this resonated with you, of course. Also that it helped you. Number 1, that's the main goal with these readings, right? But also you liked it. If so, please please comment below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And thank you so much if you choose to do those things, helping out my channel, Lone Pine Tarot, just a little bit in exchange for the reading. Of course, you're not always obligated. You don't have to. But if you want to, please do. So thank you again if you do that. And as we say in our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day or your night. And I will see you again in the woods someday soon. Bye, pile 2. Hi there, my wonderful pile 3. Welcome today to your future self message. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the very cute fox/earth card for your pile leader. We'll talk about what that means, I guess I should say, in a moment. But first, we're going to draw your beginning tarot cards just to see the overall themes of what your future self wants to discuss today. So let's do that. Future self of pile 3, could you tell me a little bit more about what it is you want to convey to them? What do you want them to know? Thank you. Okay, we have the 5 of Pentacles. Some sort of hardship recently, especially with, say, money. That's usually what the 5 of Pentacles means. And the World reversed. Having a struggle recently with ending a cycle of hardship with money, or finances, or job-related things. That is quite a very stark in-your-face message today. And then we have, oh, wonderful, the Ace of Cups. Your cup runneth over. Blessings in this area, though, is coming, or are coming, I should say. And then we have the 4 of Wands reversed. Interesting. That can mean something to do with struggling with stability. It can mean, too, something to do with the home or a lack of celebration. What I'm feeling intuitively for you, though, pile 3, is, as I said, yes, you've been struggling with closing a cycle or a chapter of your life recently with this hardship or this poverty or just these money or job issues, hence why the 5 of Pentacles came out. But you have a blessing coming, new energy, and peace, too. I do see the Ace of Cups as a card of peace as well, especially with the dove at the very top in this area of your life. However, it's not a fix that is like a big celebration. I'm feeling that's like specifically what your future self wants to focus on as the keyword for that 4 of Wands reversed. It's not a big fix, it's a subtle fix for these problems. So I'm very curious to see is what they mean by that. I wonder if it's a sort of like behind the scenes, like the universe kind of doing its thing, and then all of a sudden, poof, this problem is gone one day. That's what I'm feeling intuitively, at least. And speaking of your pile leader and like stability, you do, of course, have the Earth card that you were drawn to with the fox. And this Earth card is all about, of course, grounding oneself, being out in nature, right? But specifically in tandem with the meaning of your tarot cards, I feel like what they mean is that you are returning to stability of some sort. That's one of the reasons why I didn't really interpret this as the traditional like lack of stability with the 4 of Wands reversed, of course, on top of the Ace of Cups being next to it. But at the same time, it's like you are going to find that stability. And I think, especially because of the meaning of the fox. Now, the fox, traditionally, we do see them as like a trickster character because they're very clever, you know, talking about foxes and hen houses. They do tend to try to get to our livestock, right? But they're also valued very highly for their wit and their intelligence. They're clever animals, like I said. So I think it's partially through the merit of your wisdom and your wit, pile 3. So I'm curious. Let's see what else pops out. Cup runneth over in peace regarding stability, especially with Earth, but not in the way that you expect. Okay, spirit guides, future self of pile 3. What else do you want to say about this situation? Maybe how it comes about. How does this get fixed? Thank you. Well, that one is quite, you know, it's like pick me. It's very prominent. We have 1 spirit guide, 1 way. And I'm actually going to draw a clarifier on that one. Number 21. 1 spirit guide, 1 way. I don't think I've ever actually had that card pop out in a reading before. Very beautiful, though. What do you mean by this? I think we have a spirit guide coming in here, not just your future self, but spirit guide wants to weigh in. Okay, we have the 2 of Pentacles, things coming into balance, having to juggle things. Oh, I'm feeling drawn to that one. We have, okay, Temperance is also a card of balance and things getting back to equilibrium. Okay, so a spirit guide's coming in, kind of as a side note from your future self reading. They're like, wait a minute, I know they want to talk to their future self, but I'm the spirit guide. I need to weigh in here. Also could be an angel too, because you do have the angel and Temperance. But anyways, pile 3. They're saying that part of the way this stabilizes is literally just through the energy of so much equilibrium coming in. Because not only did you get the 2 of Pentacles, which is literally someone kind of juggling something with the, you know, the Pentacles, right? Making things balanced in some way, handling it just fine. But also the Temperance card is literally someone, you know, or the angel pouring back and forth, making things equal between the cups. Interesting too that, you know, you had the Ace of Cups earlier, and I'm feeling intuitively that that means it's not just 2 cups being made equal again. It's also a new cup being introduced into the situation, especially because aces in tarot are like new energies. There's something that hasn't been around before. I'm going to tap in and just ask for 1 second. Apologies for the silence, but I just want to see what they mean by the new cup coming in versus the 2 that were before. It's very odd. They're saying something, and they always kind of speak in metaphors to me specifically, but they're showing an apple and it being split in half. And apples can, of course, mean knowledge. They can, of course, mean nourishment in some way. So it's like splitting knowledge in half or splitting nourishment in half or having to put things in 2s. I wonder if, for some reason... Oh, you know, some of you, it might not resonate with all of you. Have you been having financial hardships because something was split? Like a company, like, split and therefore you got, like, laid off? Or, like, something was split away and therefore you, like, lost your job? Like, they just didn't need your department anymore? Or, like, you, like, might still have the job, but you don't necessarily have as much work to do anymore. You're like, your hours got lessened, so it was like, okay, we're going to split your hours. It's something along those lines. What was a whole like steady knowledge before, or like a steady nourishment before, got split in half, and it's like, oh god, now I have to have, like, you know, I got to split my time between this and my time between that. And some of you, it might have had to even been like you had to do like 2 jobs, or like you had to do some of you, it might even be too that it was like you having to do the job of 2 people at a certain workplace, still though just being 1 person because maybe someone left or like they laid people off, and now you got to do like twice the work of that you had to do before. It's something along those lines. It's like, you know, like that what's that term? I'm hearing mitosis. I think mitosis is when cells split in biology. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, for those of you scientifically minded, but yeah, I think it's like mitosis, where it's like something had to split. And so it got out of balance, and you've had to juggle a lot too with that 2 of Pentacles energy. But it's like they're saying you're going to handle it just fine, pile 3. And on top of that, finally it's going to feel like everything is moderated and like easy to handle again, especially of course thinking of your Earth card, your pile leader, where it's like, okay, everything's going to get stable again. We're not going to be on such shaky ground anymore. And the new cup, let me tap in and ask about that, because they showed me the 2 cups before as like an apple being split. They're saying an orange. This is really odd. And it's interesting because you think of the way, like we think about, oh, we're comparing apples and oranges. Like it's not something comparable. I wonder if you're going to have an opportunity in a completely different direction than you're expecting, pile 3. Because they're like saying it, you can't compare it to the 2 cups or like the split apple before because it's an orange. It's like something in a completely new direction. I'm very curious. This is a really cool reading. Let's look at your main tarot spread. This is really cool. Comparing apples to oranges. Or 2, I wonder some of you too, like you've had to like make a hard choice. And it's like you won't have to make that hard choice anymore. I'm hearing that as well. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, you know, pile 3. We had the world reversed earlier, meaning we're having a hard time closing the cycle of hardship and poverty, or job issues, resource stability issues. Now we have the world upright, which literally means, okay, we can rest now. The cycle's closed. Chapter done. Put a stop on that. Now we can move forward into the future. And it's interesting as the inciting incident, I guess, because I read that first card as the inciting incident card of like what started all of this. It's like you wanted something to end, but I also see it as interpretation from your future self that too it is going to end this cycle that you've been having some struggles with closing. And then we have the 3 of Swords in the recent past. Yes, it's been painful too. Pile 3, ouch. Look at that. Stormy skies, arrows through the heart. Has not been a fun time whatsoever. It's interesting how that heart kind of almost got split in two, too. Like the apple I was seeing before. Ouchie. Okay, yep, so they're acknowledging the pain that you went through. It's been a tough time. And then we have the wonderful, look at that, pile 3, in the heart of the matter in present position. We have the 10 of Wands reversed. Upright, it would mean, wow, we have a lot of burden. We have a lot of work on our backs. Reverse, the 10 of Wands is, okay, I can set the load down now. Wonderful. Look at that, pile 3. I'm so happy. Okay, I was right before. I was like, that's something about like splitting or like you having to do extra work or like extra burden upon yourself, juggling. And now it's like, okay, your future self is saying you're going to be able to put that weight down. I don't know how exactly. Maybe your future cards will explain, but I think either way, there's some sort of burden relieving on you very soon here, if not in the present position, like almost right now here. Because that's usually what that middle card means. In my spread, we have the King of Pentacles reversed. Now, I'm actually going to draw a clarifier on that. I'm feeling drawn to that, but let me pull the last card before I do that. We have the 5 of Swords reversed. Okay, not having to fight something anymore. Let me draw those clarifiers, though. Future self, what do you mean on the King of Pentacles reversed? I have a feeling it's a person. Like more of your traditional court card interpretation of that being a person, but I just want to be sure here. Oh, this one. Okay, this one. Yeah, it's a person. Because we got another court card, pile 3. There's an influence being removed from the situation that's been causing a lot of the problems. And a King of Pentacles reversed and Queen of Wands reversed person tends to be someone who is either like not very good at their job or like there's someone who has been not great with the leadership at a workplace. So it could be like, say, a bad manager or like a bad CEO or someone making bad financial, like responsible decisions. That's usually how a King of Pentacles reversed manifests itself. And then the Queen of Wands reversed can be someone who's kind of vain. They're kind of proud. You know, both the Queen and King came out. So I don't really see this person as either gender. I think because this is a general reading, some of you might be like, you know, more feminine or a masculine person. Kind of depends on your situation. But either way, though, pile 3, not very nice to deal with. I wonder if there's someone who had power in the situation, too, especially with the Queen and King having come out. And, ooh, the 6 of Cups. Sometimes they might be kind of childish. Sometimes they focus too much on the past. That's usually what the Six of Cups is about. And it is upright, so it's not necessarily negative, but combined with the other cards, I'm feeling like I think they're too trusting in the past way of doing things. And I think they had good intentions, but it caused a lot of pain and problems, hence that Three of Swords, pile 3. Okay. They're not necessarily a really awful person, I don't think, but I don't think they're necessarily the best in that role. And so with the King of Pentacles having come out in the near future, this is why I thought, oh god, that feels like like the person interpretation to me earlier when I was saying that, and then I drew the clarifiers, and I was like, okay, yeah, another court card came out. Definitely a person, right? Is because I feel like, yeah, their influence is being removed. They're going to be let go of. And I think part of the reason why they were even there in the first place, speaking of the Six of Cups as well in this interpretation, is that they kind of rest on their laurels. They kind of rest on the past. Maybe they had like a good track record beforehand. So people are like, oh, they have a great past, hence the Six of Cups upright, but in practice it's not working out so well. 2, and if some of you that might not be recognizing this as a person in this situation, in general, it was like a lot of these problems were caused because of such a focus on the past and the good times of the past rather than the reality of the present. Okay. Then I will draw a clarifier on that Five of Swords reversed. However, that does mean, like I said when I first pulled it out, that a conflict is ending. Maybe you even had a conflict with this person. That conflict's coming to a close, but we'll of course draw clarifiers. Future self of pile 3. What do you mean by the conflict ending with the Five of Swords? Thank you. It's a harsh battle too. It's usually the Five of Swords. Yeah, Hierophant is like an authority figure. Yep. Okay. Ooh, and the Nine of Pentacles. Authority figure and finding the fruits of your labor and the satisfaction from the hard work. I'm going to draw just one more clarifier because I want to know. Oh, the group wins. The Three of Cups is the group. So in the end, I mean, you know, the Five of Swords often is a battle where nobody really wins, pile 3. However, I think because of the Nine of Pentacles as the between card between the authority figure with the Hierophant, and the way well, that's the other thing too. Hierophant can also mean tradition, the way things have always been done. Okay, that's what I was saying with that Six of Cups. I'm like, I don't know if they're kind of stuck in the past, or like they're like, oh, we got to do this the way it always has been, even though there might be greater ideas that are like new that they just didn't want to accept, I guess, for whatever reason. I don't know. Pride might be because of the Queen of Wands reversed, but I am seeing that it's a situation where technically everybody wins here, but it might require the person or the situation, whoever is the authority in the situation, to be given like some sort of financial incentive. Like, I know sometimes when people leave a company, they get like what's it called? A severance package? I think that's technically what it's called. If people that are more business savvy than me, feel free to weigh down in the comments below. But so yes, there's technically kind of a loss with the Five of Swords reversed. Like, nobody really wins, but at the same time, I mean, look at the group. The group is so happy. They're like, thank God this influence is gone. Let's cheer. Like, and then 2, oh, that reminds me. Remember I said before there was like the 2 cups and then 1 cup is added and then you had the 3 cups here. So that reminds me of that. It's like finally we have these 3 cups again rather than just the split apple or like the split cups and then like the 1. So I wonder, because some of you, I wondered if it was you were going to get, especially for those of you where it was like multiple jobs instead of having just one. Like, say either you got like someone else's duties piled upon you, or like you had to work multiple jobs because your hours got split. I'm going to ask if like this ends in like you just finally having that one thing again. Let me ask. I mean, no matter what, you're gonna have a burden relieved. You have the Ten of Wands reversed, but let me just see. Future self. Is it that they won't have to be split so much anymore? Pile 3. Nine of Wands and the Six of Pentacles reversed. They're saying, oh, taking action because of your own passions, because of a place that's not fair. You might be leaving pile 3. So it might look like the authority figure or like the other side of this wins, but really you're the one cheering and winning in the end. You might leave. That's kind of what I feel like. Are they going to leave, future self? Because the reason why is because it's not fair. It's not fair to you. That's not equal distribution with the Six of Pentacles reversed. Are they leaving? What is this? Oh, or someone retires. That could be the Ten of Pentacles as well. Yeah, it's either some of you are leaving or like someone retires and then finally like that fixes. I wonder if that's how they leave. Someone in the situation is leaving that's going to cause this to get a lot better. And some of you, it might be your leader literally leaving and it's like a way better place. Or someone that's been causing the problem leaves. Either way, everyone kind of ends up happy. Even though right now it seems as if like nobody's going to end up happy. So it's one of those weird situations in life, pile 3, where it feels like each side has to kind of give. And therefore it kind of feels like that Five of Swords reversed energy of like nobody wins. But at the same time, in the end, it's like the all's well that ends well message of yet someone or like everybody in the situation is satisfied here. Both the group and then the one person on the other side of the group there with the Hierophant authority figure versus the group of the Three of Cups. Okay. I know, I feel like that's kind of a messy message. I feel like just because there's so many, I wonder if a lot of you might pick pile 3 today. Sometimes when more people pick a certain pile, there's like more kind of mini messages that come out that could be interpreted differently, but I hope that's coming through clearly. Let me know in the comments if you're finding this resonating. But just be reassured no matter what, pile 3, no matter what camp you fall into with this particular reading and this message, things are going to get stable again. And everyone will kind of win in the end, at least in terms of everyone's satisfied. Okay? So keep that in mind. Your hardship's coming to an end too. The stability will come back into play. And I think that's why at the very beginning when I said with the Four of Wands reversed, I was like, well, it's a win and a new cup of a blessing, but it's not really a thing to be celebrated. Like, it feels bittersweet initially, but in the end you're like, oh, thank God. You're like, okay, I'm happy. Maybe I was bittersweet at first. I'm like, oh, well, I don't know if I like that. But then everyone wins in the end, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's what your future self wanted to say to you today. So that was your future self message, as I said. I hope you liked it. I hope it helped you, number one. That's my main goal with these readings, right? But also that you found that it resonated. If so, like the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and thank you if you choose to do those things. You're never obligated, but I am always very grateful for your interaction, your thoughts, and of course your subscriptions as well if you'd like to see more readings in the future from me. And as we say in our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day or your night. And I hope to see you again in the woods someday soon. Goodbye, pile 3.